Hello, Aries. It is time for your mid-February update. We'll start off as usual with an oracle card to see what your primary energy or theme is for this month, for the second half of this month. And we have the freedom I seek comes from expressing my emotions creatively. Creative expression of emotions. Did we have something like this at the beginning of the month for you? I don't know. About using your creativity to help express yourself. Using creativity to help even solve some issues or problems you have. There's an aspect of creative solutioning. So go outside. Do not consider anything that you already do. If you know nothing about this, what would you do? You need to start from scratch on something, is the vibe I'm getting here, in order to find your way through, to find your way to the other side, to get that freedom aspect here. If you can't express what it is that you're really feeling to someone, it's going to be trapped in there, and you're going to be feeling that trapped kind of vibe. You're going to be feeling the frustration. You're going to be have maybe expressing impatience and things like that, because you want them to just know how you're feeling, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. You need to let them know. You need to verbalize it in some way. Maybe you write a poem or a short story or something. Maybe you draw it. Maybe you do a painting. Or maybe there's some other way you can creatively express this thing. And I think the creative troubleshooting aspect comes in here too. Maybe what you do or what you need to communicate with them is, or you need to help them with troubleshooting how something happened, and try to step back from it emotionally, contrary to what's going here, but step back from it emotionally to try to understand it from a more detached aspect or something like that. There's a need to look at something, at the problem from a different perspective, like twice removed is the kind of the vibe I'm getting here. You need to look at something twice removed in order to see it clearly and be able to understand how you can express yourself. So hopefully that makes sense to some of you. And now let's see what your tarot cards have to say about that. All right, we have the Star card. This has been very prominent so far for the second half of the month. The Lovers, the Five of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Two of Wands. So you need to do something that truly expresses you, but does it in a way that doesn't feel threatening, if that makes sense. In a way that doesn't make you feel, well, you need to be vulnerable, and that's going to be hard to do in a lot of cases. I can find that hard to do too. So there's a sense of freedom once you can hit that point where you can be vulnerable, or at least find a way to express your emotions even in spite of that feeling of being vulnerable. So how do we do that? Well, let's see if the cards can give us some clues here. Number one, you need to make sure you're practicing some self-care here. Make sure that you are fully rested, because if you're stressed out and you're not taking care of yourself and you're trying to express whatever it is you need to say, it's going to come out in a way that you may not intend. It may come out very aggressively and sound like anger when that's not what your intent is. So make sure that you are well rested before you go into this. Make sure that you are nurturing your whole self, your body, your emotions, your energy, your brain even. Let it rest. Do something like a Netflix and chill time. Do something that takes your mind and your body and lets all of that relax, like truly relax. And then also, so you may fall into, if you get into that mode, that may even get you into a space where the answer or to how you can do this comes to you, it just floats up to the top. That feels like that might be the primary purpose here, but essentially you have permission to take a, give yourself a few days of a break here and not fuss and worry about it too much. Just let things float while you kind of recover, kind of get yourself into a space where you're feeling calm and better prepared on every level to be vulnerable in a way maybe you haven't been before. And it feels like it may have to do with a relationship, because then we have two major arcana cards, by the way. So this is a significant moment for you. The Lover's card. The Lover's card, it isn't always about lovers. It is about commitment. It's about assessing that commitment. So maybe what you're going through right now is an evaluation of a relationship with someone else. And something you want out of this, or maybe emotions you want to express that you have never done expressed before to anyone, which is leaving you in that vulnerable space. There can be tension here though, because you don't know where the other side is. You don't know what their feelings are. So there is a need here to have an open and honest conversation, to be vulnerable here, to let them know where you really stand from an emotional standpoint, not just practically, not just passionately. It's not just about the physical connection. You're going deeper than that, probably deeper than you've been before. And you want to be vulnerable with this person. If you're in a space where you can't feel vulnerable with this person, then that probably means they're not the right person. And that might be what you need to communicate. And be honest with yourself on that part. If this is someone where you think you can be vulnerable with them and you're ready to do that, then you need to have that open, honest conversation. You need to express and say what it is you have to say. But you also need to listen to the other side and hear what they have to say, and be open to whatever it is that they have to say. And not shut people out, not get angry, not get frustrated, not just walk away. You need to sit there through the whole thing. It needs to be a very raw, open, honest conversation with both sides expressing what their needs are and some of their wants, but primarily their needs. And then at the end of that conversation or process, you'll know where this relationship is going to go next. Are you guys taking it to the next level, to a deeper level? Or perhaps what you're finding here is that your needs are not being met, and perhaps it's time to step apart, to go separate ways, and that's okay. And I think you'll feel okay about that, because you won't be left wondering, well, what if this, what if that? You'll both know exactly where the others stand. And you can make decisions confidently after this discussion. That's where the freedom comes in. So maybe there's a way too you can make this a fun process, or you can do it differently or in some creative way that you guys are communicating back and forth. Maybe you need to be sitting, honestly, I don't know why this popped up, but for some of you it did. Maybe you need to be sitting next to each other on the couch, but texting back and forth. For some reason, that feels right for some of you. So keep that in mind. There's different ways that you can do this, but I do think you need to be physically in the same place, because there are energetic cues and things like that you can read off of people, even if you have trouble verbally expressing what it is you want to say. So this is important. And then we have 2 5s in a row. Now, 5s can indicate challenges and conflicts or competition. 5 of Wands in particular is competition. Try not to outcompete your partner or whoever it is that you're trying to express yourself to. Try not to outcompete them. Just focus on what your words should be, on how you are going to communicate your message. You do not need to do it in the same way that the other person does. It needs to be uniquely you. That's, if this is a partnership in particular, that's what they like about you. So keep that in mind. Be uniquely you. That's how you come out on top here. That's how you get what you need, or the things that are right for you. So don't try to match and do things exactly the same way the other party or person or people are doing. Focus on what it is you're going to do, how you want to do it, the words you want to say, etc. This needs to be your thing. And then we have the Five of Cups. Now, if there's anything from the past that you're hanging on to, any anger, any guilt, any frustration, anything from the past that for some reason just keeps coming up and prevents everybody from moving forward, you need to let that go. You need to find a way to recognize that that is the past. That's not where you are now. It was a different time. People were in a different place emotionally and everywhere else in their life. Everybody has moved on from that. Everybody has evolved since then. You have to let that stuff go because it's impeding your progress now. You need to focus on the things that you do have, that are successful, that are good. Focus on the blessings and on the present, not on the past. And then we have the Two of Wands, which is another decision point. This is your first two, is a decision point. A Two of Wands in particular is planning for the future, about something that you're excited about, something that you're really looking forward to, and deciding, well, where do we want to go? So in this example, a lot of times this looks like a travel card. So potentially a vacation or something like that, but it could be anything. This is planning it. This is coming up with like that initial brainstorming session. Okay, so if this is a vacation, where do we want to go? Do we want to go to the frosty north? Do we want to go south? Do we want to go to a different country? Do we just want to go to a state? Are we going to stay locally? How do we want to get there? Are we going to fly? Are we going to drive? Are we going to take a bus? When we get there, how are we going to stay there? Are we going to be getting an Airbnb? Are we going to be camping? Are we going to get a hotel? Is it going to be full service, etc., etc., etc.? It's all of that, but the joy of doing that and the excitement of it and a sense of anticipation. It's a good card to end on. So that, Aries, is what I have for you for your mid-February update. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated with you or not, and because the YouTube algorithm likes that. And please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.